pair of deuces.
Daniel Negreanu looks down and finds two aces.
Oh boy.
And just calls with them. Now you talk about trying to camouflage the strength of your hand. Daniel is certainly doing it here.
Now it's on Joe Hashem. Joe's got queen nine of hearts in the small blind.
Well, the problem with limping in with two aces is it puts more money in the pot and it gives the opportunity for more players to call behind you because of the pot odds they're getting.
Oh, cool.
Joe Hashem's going to make the call because of that.
David Redlin folding. So three-way action, you're right, but you know you got to mix up your play. You can't get predictable. Daniel is the king of that.
Here comes the flop. Well, the flop is king at 7-4.
I check.
Joe checks.
450.
EBJ is coming out even though nothing hit on the flop.
He's making the continuation bet, Vince. He's going to represent a king and hopes nobody has one. Just trying to pick this pot up right here. It's not going to work, though. We know Daniel's going to play these two aces.
Make it 9.
Oh, Daniel has doubled the raise. He makes it 900,000. In no limit, that's a very scary thing to have happen to you.
EBJ. What's he thinking about, Vince? He's not going to call here. Is he thinking about coming over the top?
It's like a deer caught in the headlights right there.
Oh, he does. Looks like Humpty Dumpty on the wall. And the pieces are about to come apart here if he makes a move now because Daniel is going nowhere with this hand.
It would get very messy if he should take a stab at this.
Totally messed up.
Now, Vince, he's as vain about his hair as you are.
I've got a haircut.
Well, wisely for EBJ, he evacuates the ship there and he goes out.
Daniel showing the cards. They're showing the aces, giving a little relief to EBJ.
Vince, he is widening the gap here, and I've never seen Daniel look so confident entering a final table as he has tonight.
All right, action is going to be on EBJ.
Raise.
With a 7-8 of spades is going to raise again.
He comes in for 200,000. Sitting right behind him with a pair of nines is Mads Anderson. Let's see what he's going to do here.
Re-raise.
Well, he is coming over the top with the two nines here, though.
6 1/4.
Protect that mid pair.
He's going to make it 625,000 to go.
Into Daniel Negreanu, and Daniel's picked up a big hand as well. Ace King with the button.
Well, Vance, he's in position. Now, we know he's got a lot of chips, but many pros, when the pot's raised and re-raised in front of him, would lay down Ace King here, but not Daniel Negreanu. He makes the call.
And now it's on Jim Hanna.
Well, he has the same hand as Daniel. Remember, the pot was raised, re-raised, and called.
He's got to lay it down. Too many players, and Joe Hashem going out.
Action back on EBJ.
Call.
And he is making the call, Mike.
I don't blame him here, Vince. It's a huge pot in there right now. 1.6 million. It cost him 400,000 more to call. So he does make the call. So three-way action here. Over 2 million in this pot.
Tasty little suited connector. 7-8 of spades. Up against nines and Ace King.
Everybody holding their breath right now. And the flop comes queen, queen, 10 with two hearts. No real help to anybody. Action's on EBJ. He's going to check his 8 high.
Now the man with the pair of nines, Mads Anderson. He checks.
Well, Vince, he's scared. Not only because the guy raised in front of him, but Daniel called 2 bets behind him.
Well, Daniel has an inside straight draw, but here we go with the turn. They all checked.
Now the 4 hearts pops off there.
Mullen.
EBJ with the 8-7 of black cards is going to move in here for $1 million.
An absolute zip and pip.
That's if Mads Anderson called him here. His opponent's drawing completely dead.
Well, how would you call with a pair of nines at this time? You got a big pair out there. You got 3 hearts, and he's going to lay it down. And now it's up to Daniel. Daniel does have the 4th heart and an inside straight draw, and it's a big heart for King of Hearts.
What do you got? How much? Not what do you have in your hand, but how much money you got? Well, I mean, I'm thinking you probably hit like the queen or something. You got like scared 3 queens, it looks like. That heart, you didn't like it too much.
Daniel's going to soon realize there's $3 million in the pot. Cost him $1 million to make this call. But as it is, he's just got ace high.
That's okay, I can see it.
The
Whatever.
guy who raised pre-flop has moved all in
It's either
front
like
of you here.
good or I'm not, you know. Let's see here.
If he puts his opponent on something like 2 7s or 2 8s, perhaps he'll make this call thinking he can win the pot with an ace, a king, a jack, or a heart.
Actually, you know what? Count it. It's close. I think you got 3 queens, so maybe I can like suck out on you. I can't beat him. But
Daniel is off this time. He thinks he has 3 queens, but why wouldn't you?
Well, how would you like to beat EBJ right now, Vince? Your tournament life's on the line. You moved in for your last million. You're up against certainly one of the top poker players in the world who's the chip leader at this final table. And you got to maintain your poker face right now.
he's got 1,045,000. Is that right? Sound good to you?
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
1 million. And
When
there's
Daniel starts talking, put a bag over your head. Don't talk with him.
Well, Vince, look at the
Man.
poker face of EBJ now. He answered Daniel. You don't have to. I've played a fair amount of poker with Daniel Negreanu, and my advice to everybody would be, if you're playing a pot with him, don't talk to him.
It's just a little bit over $1 million. It's a huge pot. This would be an amazing call.
Well, this would be an all-star call, Vince. No doubt about that.
3.
Poor EBJ saying to himself, please go away, please go away. Daniel, please go away. Do not call me.
You're not full, right? No, you're not. Never mind. Maybe you have these. I'm definitely beat. But I have outs, maybe. It's only $1 million.
Oh, no,
Wow.
it is.
What a call by Daniel Negreanu.
Beautiful.
And that thud you just heard, folks, with EBJ's heart hitting the floor.
He's got 8 high. Oh, I can beat that.
Daniel tickle pink.
You are sick.
You are the sickest. You are the sickest puppy.
Okay, don't give him an 8 or a 7. That would be pretty
Now,
sick.
folks, you talk about one of the great calls in poker history. Whether or not Daniel wins this pot, that took a lot of heart to make that call right there. A king-eye flush draw, a gut shot straight draw. You could be drawing dead. Daniel sized him up perfect, sensed he was bluffing, and went after him.
It would be a bad beat if an 8 or a 7 goes.
Queen 7.
And the look on EBJ's face says it all.
He's got to spike a 7 or an 8 that's not a heart. Otherwise, he's our 6th place finisher. Here comes the river card.
Well, the 6 hearts comes off. Daniel makes the flush and takes down the pot.
And EBJ gets to say goodnight here at Bellagio.
Wow. What a call by Daniel Negreanu right there.
I thought I might have the best hand. I saw this guy yesterday make a move with 7 deuce offsuit like that. Nothing, so I was like, joke. I mean, I really thought there might just be a chance he has nothing.
You just don't suspect an amateur player is going to bluff his last chips when there's a $2 million first prize in a poker tournament. He did it there, and Daniel picked him off exactly right.
You are a sick man. That is the sickest call I've ever seen.
If I was wrong, I had outs, you know?
I'm putting you in there, and here he is at the final table.
Let's go back to the table. It's on Mads Anderson. He goes away with King 4, and now Daniel Negreanu with an Ace 10.
And he comes in for $250,000.
Mr. Football goes out, and now Joe Hashem with a Jack 4 offsuit.
Well, a rather loose call here by Joe Hashem, in my view, out of position with a Jack 4 offsuit. Let's see what happens.
Dribbling the chips in, and here's the flop, and a big ace there. Hits for Daniel.
Joe checks. Daniel's going to bet the 2 aces here. And Joe is calling with a gut shot draw here. Well, very peculiar call, in my opinion, by Joe. He does have the Jack of clubs, though, in case it comes 2 clubs. But
Well, Joe's a little down on himself from the last hand, I believe, for not raising before the flop, and he's limping around in this one. 3 of diamonds on the turn.
he certainly wears his emotions on his sleeve, and Daniel Negreanu picking up on it.
Well, he's checking Daniel, betting again.
Daniel thinks his aces are the best hand, which indeed they are. And you can just look at Joe and tell they're the best hand.
Boy, he is drooping right here. $400,000 bet.
You got it.
That's for sure.
Joe lays it down.
Didn't want to make 2 pair.
I didn't want to make 2 pair.
Well, a little lackadaisical play by Joe. Now action's back on Daniel here.
Very special.
Yes, it is. The chip leader looks down at Big Slick. Ace King.
Well, he's going to raise it. Comes in for $250,000.
Yes, he does. Jim Hanna lays down his Queen Deuce. Joe out with King 4.
Round to Mads Anderson, who just doubled up the last pot against Daniel Negreanu. Looks down at a Jack-9 here. He's going to make the call. Hope to hit a flop where he can double up yet again.
Giving Daniel some action. Is it going to be his momentum, his rush? We will see. Flop comes up 10-9-4. He hits a piece of it, pair of nines.
Well, he's out front right now. He checks, and Daniel checks the ace-king right behind him.
Here we go with the turn. A nothing card, 3 of hearts.
Well, Mad's got to feel like his 2 nines are the best hand now, so he bets 300,000 at a pot that's got about 600,000 in it. Daniel with just the ace-king. He's going to make the call.
He's going nowhere.
Well, he thinks the ace-high might be the best hand here.
He's behind right now. Let's take a look at the river.
Oh, it's a king.
Wow, he caught the king.
Well, Mads checks here. Doesn't like that card. Potential straight out there now. An overcard. And here comes Daniel firing 600,000. Well, Mads is going to make the call with 2 nines, and he's going to be a little mad. Look at the face of Mads Anderson there.
Oh, that's going to hurt. Daniel is in a
Coach,
very
that's
good
scary.
mood.
Well, why not? You're the chip leader with
Have you
4
seen
players
him play?
left, going for your
Are you
3rd World
serious?
Poker Tour title. How can you not be in a good mood?
Right.
All right, action on the ex-football player Jim Hanna from Louisiana. Throws away a king 7 this time. Joe Hashem going out.
Around to Mads Anderson here. Him and Daniel have clashed the last 2 pots.
All in.
He's going all in here.
With a suited connector, 6-7 of hearts.
Daniel Negreanu looks down at ace-4 of diamonds here.
I need another count.
I think we're back to like the same.
About the same.
Yeah, I would guess.
Now, Vince, this is a different scenario than the other situation we saw where Daniel called him with the ace-9 offsuit. Here, he just put a bad beat on the guy on the river, and he knows very well that Mads can be moving in with virtually any 2 cards in this situation.
Mads squirming in his seat there a little bit.
Little left.
Did not want to call. He was saying, why do you have to do this to me, Daniel?
Well, Vince, he doesn't look like a man of confidence here.
Not at all.
Tell me what it is.
The way Daniel is eyeing those chips and the way he thinks Mads might be on tilt here, I'll be surprised if he lays down the ace-high here.
8-20.
Let's not hear that voice. It sounded very weak.
Let's try again.
Daniel's going to make the call. And this time, Daniel's the favorite to win the pot and eliminate Mads Anderson from the tournament.
You got a shot. 50-50.
Flicking the cards across the table, not very proud.
About a coin flip.
So Daniel with the ace-4 diamonds. Mads Anderson with a 7-6 of hearts. Mads must win this pot to stay alive. As the cards lie, he's only about a 3-2 underdog.
And Mads going to the water bottle numerous times. Here comes the flop.
Flop comes Queen Jack 6. Mads Anderson is taking the lead with the 2 sixes.
It's a coin toss.
It's a good flop for both of them.
Never.
You had to be happy with the flop, though.
Yeah, it's better now. It's 50.
Well, note that Daniel has the nut flush draw. A diamond would end this thing, and ace would give him the lead.
Here we go with a turn card.
Well, the 8 of spade comes up, so we are down to the river. For Daniel to win this pot, he must catch an ace or a diamond. Gus Hansen happy about that card. His man now in good shape to win this pot. Looking on as his fellow Dane trying to hold off Daniel. Daniel hits the flush and takes him out. Well, Mads Anderson, a great sport. Handshakes all around. Mads Anderson losing yet again on the guys are wizards in the poker world, Vince, no doubt about it.
Action back on Jim Hanna. Looking down at King Jack this time.
And he's going to make it 300,000 to go.
Joe Hashem evacuating with his hand. And now Daniel,
Oh, was it me? Yeah.
he has King 9. And yes, he is going to call it.
Right now, Jim Hanna well out in front.
7-7-6. Helps neither
Check.
player. Daniel checks it.
Well, a nice continuation bet right here by Jim Hanna.
Yeah, whether he hit it or not, he is betting, and it looks like $350,000.
Look at this, Vince. Daniel is calling again with no hand and no draw.
He is just splashing around the pool. Here we go with the turn.
Well, the king of hearts comes off.
Both of them have a king.
Wow, what a card. Jim Hanna has kings up with a better kicker and a better flush draw.
Daniel quickly checks it, and Mr. Football is going to bet $500,000.
Had you asked Daniel what card he would wish for to come on the turn, the king of hearts would have probably been his answer. The moral of the story is, be careful what you wish for, because this card could cost him a lot of money.
Well, he's in a place right now he doesn't want to be, but he doesn't know it.
But Daniel has kings up and a flush draw. There are 3 hearts on the board, of course, and a pair.
Oi, oi, oi.
Linda's not.
I'm gonna go all in.
Kid Poker has put it all in.
Oi, oi, oi.
Pick 'em.
Jim Hanna's calling him here.
Oops. Must be dead here.
A nice call by Jim. He's got the best hand and the best draw, as we say.
Pass the sugar, baby.
That was a pretty bad card.
The only way Daniel can win this pot is to catch a 9. He
He's
could
got
tie
king
it
nine,
if
I
an
got
ace,
king
a
jack.
king, a queen, or a 7 comes off.
Well, Daniel getting out of line there, going over the boundaries, but that's the way he plays.
about a
He
red
mixes
9?
up his game. He
I'll
steals
take
a
a
lot
red
of pots.
9.
This time, it is looking like it's going to backfire. Let's take a look at the river.
Daniel needs an ace, king, queen, or a 7 to tie, a 9 to win.
And it's a 6 of diamonds. It's not going to help Daniel.
So Jim Hanna is going to double up here. And Vince, when people are watching this show, when Daniel calls a bet on the flop when it comes 7-7-6, he puts 350,000 out there with a king 9. People are wondering, why is this guy doing that? Well, the reason is, in case any kind of straight card comes off there or flush card comes off there, Daniel's probably going to lead at this pot and win it. It turns out the king of hearts came off of there where they both made kings up and it cost Daniel a lot of money. But had a 4, a 5, an 8, a 9, or a 10 come off, Daniel's probably going to win this pot rather than lose it.
What a turnaround for Mr. Football. Stay tuned. 3 players still remain at $1 million. 3 players remain. This is a good one.
This tournament could turn out to be a classic finish. All 3 of these players got over $4 million in chips. It's anybody's game. Action on Joe Hashem.
Well, he's got king 10. He's bumping it up to $300,000. Daniel Negreanu right behind him with ace 4.
He's going to make the call out of the small blind.
And now Jim Hanna with an 8-5 of diamonds.
Call.
He's going to call also. So over 900,000 in the pot, and we have 3-way action. Here comes the flop. Well, it's come 8, 3 deuce. Daniel Negreanu has flopped a gut shot straight draw. A 5 would give him a wheel, and he's going to lead out and bet.
Yeah, $300,000 bet.
I'm gonna raise.
But Jim Hanna, who has top pair of 8s with a 5 kicker, he says raise.
Yeah, he's just thinking, if Daniel's got a bigger
9 more.
pair than 8s, good luck to him. I don't believe he does.
He goes up to $1.2 million.
A healthy raise of 1.2 million.
Joe Hashem going out. Now it's back around to Daniel.
Vance, all he's got's a gut shot draw here. I don't believe he can call a $900,000 re-raise with a gut shot straight draw.
You wouldn't think so.
With Joe Hashem sitting behind him, Jim's just not going to make a play there, Vance, without at least a pair.
You know, I think Daniel's getting a little frustrated.
Well, he just doubled him up the previous pot, Vance. Maybe he's trying to get his chips back here. But look at this. He is making the call here.
Can't believe this.
Well, very peculiar call in my mind also,
Made it
Vince.
12 total.
900,000 on a gut shot draw. Folks, we've got over 3.3 million in this pot.
He'd like to spike the 5. He could use it right now. Here we go with the turn card.
Well, the 7 of hearts comes off there. So Daniel checks. If Jim thought the 2 8s were best on the flop, he probably still thinks they are.
Come on.
And he's going all in right here. He's going to make Daniel pay for this gut shot straight draw now.
Daniel disgusted, shaking his head there a little bit. He's going to lay it down. I tell you something, I think he's frustrated. He's getting pushed around by this amateur player, this annoying jock to his left. All night long, he's saying, hey, don't you know who I am? I'm Kid Poker here.
And Vince, he's disintegrating before our eyes. He had a major chip lead at this final table, and now he's low man on the totem pole. Can he bounce back?
Well, I gotta say, he's tilting like a tower of Pisa right now. Can he come back? Action's on him. He's got King Jack this time.
He's going to bet 400,000 here on the button.
Like he should. Pretty good hand. Into Jim Hanna. He's got Queen Jack in the small blind.
He's also on a little roll, Vince. Let's not forget that.
Call.
Certainly is, and he's going to make the call. Hashem goes out with 10-3, so 2-way action. They're at it again, these two.
Well, the same 2 guys going at it again. Daniel in a dominating position here. He's got King Jack, Jim Hanna with the Queen Jack. Now the flop is ace, ace, king. Jim Hanna has the ace high straight draw, but Daniel Negreanu well out front right now with the two kings. And Jim checks and Daniel checks right behind him.
Yes, he does.
Little puzzled by that, Vince. And the 10 comes right off of there.
Oh, uh-oh.
Jim Hanna has made Broadway. He's made the ace high straight, and he's going to bet $500,000 here.
Yes, he is. Now Daniel with his aces and kings. Oh boy, he's going to pay this off.
And he's going to call in hopes that Jim doesn't have an ace and his two kings are good. Little does he know that the 10 made his opponent a straight.
Down to the river card. Will Daniel get lucky? No, he does not.
Well, the 5 of hearts comes off of there. Action's on Jim Hanna.
Mr. Football. He's got to be loving this.
800.
He's going to bet 800,000 here. Daniel's shaking his head.
Really?
He thinks he's going to be dizzy. He makes this call.
Man, you got my number, I'll tell you what.
And sees how he lost this pot because he didn't bet on the flop.
Well, that is true, especially because it was checked to him. Find out where you are with your aces and kings.
Sick feeling you have Queen Jack or something.
Boy, he's got that spot on.
I have to tell you, this is like a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
He's getting out some chips, Vince.
Can he get away from this hand? No,
Well,
he does
Daniel
not.
made the call of 800,000. He flinched as his opponent turned up the straight because he knows he gave him a free card on the flop, and it came back to bite him in the butt on the turn.
Oh, I had a sick feeling you had that.
Jim Hanna now gaining confidence. The bully.
Against, when you're doing that, there's a good chance you're going to win. He is loving the moment here at Bellagio.
And the intensity increases. 3 players going after millions. Action's going to be on the Australian. Joe Hesham, who looks down at midlife crisis, 44.
Now he's going to raise it. Says 450,000.
Now Daniel's got King 10 in this small blind.
Well, he's sitting on about 1.6 million worth of chips here. See what he wants to do with this King 10.
Well, he's seriously considering this.
Wondering if Joe's just making a button raise or if he's really got a hand here. He's got 80,000 out there. Gonna cost him another 370 to make this call.
And we have seen the moods tonight for Daniel Negreanu. Jubilation, depression, and right now confusion.
All in.
Whoa, he's going all in, Mike.
He is doing it. He has gone all in here for the 1.6 million.
But right behind him, Jim Hanna has picked up a pair of 10s.
Wow.
970.
Vince, I would be shocked if he lays these down,
950.
especially the way Daniel's been playing lately.
1.1.
It's going to cost him 1.6 million. Part of his problem, however, is that Joe raised on the button. He'd be sick if he called 1.6 million here, and then Joe came over the top of him for the rest of his chips.
Well, there's always a chance you can go over the top too, but
Wow.
no, he is going to lay it down. A very tight lay
A
down.
lay down by Jim Hanna right there.
125.
1125, yeah.
Obvious to me that Jim's got
I
enough
believe.
chips. We'll have the chip lead playing heads up. That's what he wants to do. He just doesn't want to get involved in perhaps a 3-way pot here with 2 10s, so he gets rid of them. And now Joe Hesham faced with a tough decision as to what to do.
Back on the man with the 4s.
That's going to cost him about 1.2 million more to make this call. Now Vince, he's got a couple things going for him. A, he's got enough chips he can make it and still have plenty left over. And B, if he gambles here and eliminates Daniel Negreanu from this tournament, he gets to play the amateur heads up for the 2.2 million in the title. And believe me, there's nothing more than Joe Hesham wants to do right now than that. So he might just gamble here, Vince, in hopes that Daniel's just got the 2 overcards and is in a race situation.
Oh, cool.
Oh, yes.
And he is making the call.
Race.
Well, Joe says a race, but he is really
Racing.
going to be happy when he finds out that Jim Hanna folded 2 10s. That's 2 outs taken away from Daniel's hand,
Good luck.
It was about that time.
which means as the cards lie, Joe's about a 60% favorite to win this pot and
It's
knock
about that
Daniel out of
time.
this
You got a key?
tournament.
Oh, yes,
I have pocket
indeed.
10s.
You had pocket
Oh,
10s.
look at this, Daniel finding out that Jim had the 10s. His outs going out, but at least he's got his laugh back.
That's so funny to me, I have no idea. 2 10s. That's like so funny to me.
Daniel got all his money in with King 10, up against the pair of 4s. Daniel's life on the
Although
line
you
right
can
here.
scoop
Stay
it out.
tuned. We're coming right
There you
back.
go. Yeah, cue it.
In just a moment. back to the World Poker Tour. The 5-Diamond World Poker Classic continues. Daniel Negreanu has put all his money in with King 10.
I think I might make it straight.
But he's been called down by
Queen Jack
Joe
nine.
Hashem with a pair of
It's a nice
fours.
premonition.
Joe Hashem about a 3-2 favorite to win this pot and eliminate Daniel from this tournament.
Here we go with the flop.
It's a good flop. Okay, all I need is a jack
Well,
now.
flop is ace, queen, deuce.
Give me a jack.
So it's not over. Daniel can
Make
win
it
this pot
high.
now with a king, a
Make
jack,
it
or
high.
a 10.
A big one. I need a big one.
Starting to get
Huh?
encouraged again. He's up on his feet,
That's good,
chatting
too.
it up.
Everything's gone
I need
wrong
like
for
a-
Daniel lately at this
Yeah,
final table.
Big one. Just any big one.
Perhaps he can get lucky and stay
Couple
alive here
clubs.
and double up.
Something big to give me more of a sweat.
Need to suck out here.
Oh,
Queen
okay,
comes
one more
off.
big one. All right.
Well,
one more
Daniel's
big one.
jumping up and
I think I
down
should have been more
because he can
specific.
now win the pot if an ace comes off, as well as a king, jack, or a 10. Joe Hashem
Not the
sweating it
deuce.
out here.
King,
Never easy, Joe, as you
queen.
know.
No. Ace, king,
He
10.
needs
Or
half
jack.
the deck.
Can
No,
the
just
two
ace
fours,
jack.
the cold
Yeah.
44s, shoot down Daniel
three.
Negreanu? Right now
Three.
they're in front.
3.
Here comes the river.
It's a deuce. That's
Queens and
the
fours, big
Queens and fours are going to win this pot.
Daniel Negreanu, Kid Poker,
luck, guys.
finally put to rest here at Bellagio. But he's going to take home third place prize money of $592,000.
Well, as disappointed as Daniel is, what am I to put my brother in this tournament? The least he's taking home is $1 million, and he might get $2.2 million in the title here.
The action continues, and the play belongs to Jim Hanna from Louisiana. He's got Queen Jack of clubs this time.
720.
He's going to raise it up, makes it $720,000 to go.
Right behind him, Joe Hashem. He's got ace high, ace 6.
Well, Joe recognizes how powerful an ace is in the heads-up situation. Recognize that if you have an ace in your hand, there's a 90% chance that your opponent does not have an ace in his.
Joe taking his time here.
Checking out Jim's chip count.
I'm all in.
And he says all
Wow, what a play by Joe Hashem.
I call.
He's been called by Jim Hanna.
Yes, he has.
And Joe very happy to see he's got the best hand right now. The ace high out in front
Queen jack of
against the
clubs
queen
against
jack of
ace
clubs.
Yes, he is going to be a slight favorite.
Well, I like this bet by Joe Hashem, Vince, because even if he loses this pot, they're virtually going to be tied in chip count anyway. If he wins it, it's all over. He's going to be our champion. As the cards lie, Joe Hashem a slight favorite to win this pot.
Whichever way. You double up or you lose.
It was a pleasure playing with you. Either way.
Either way.
Ace-6 offsuit. This will be the second player to ever win the World Series and the
One
WPT
red
event.
ace, he says.
Well, they can't even look at the
One
flop.
red ace. That's all we need.
Well, flop comes ace, queen, 3. Joe Hashem has flopped an ace, but don't count Jim Hanna
a queen
out
as
yet. He's flopped a pair of queens. He also has 2 clubs. There's a club on the
If I
board.
can win this hand, I
He can
make
backdoor a flush or a straight to win this pot also.
This hand is history if I win
Look
this
at
hand.
this. Joe is saying this could be history if I win this hand, and he's correct.
And it will be history for him. It'll be his first World Poker Tour title. The turn card is the 8 of clubs. That puts a flush draw on the board.
Never easy.
It shouldn't be easy to pick up 2.2
Never
million.
easy.
We're going to see another horrendous beat tonight on the river.
Look at Joe Hashem, folks. He's pacing back and forth like an expectant father right now.
Here comes the river card. Will his hand hold up?
Jim Hanna must catch a queen, a jack, or a club to stay alive in this tournament. It's a deuce of Joe Hashem has done it. He goes over and hugs his wife, Jeannie. He has captured his 4th World Poker Tour title.
Oh, the elation, the excitement. He is our champion. $2.2 million, Richard.
But, Vince, you got to take your hat off for Jim Hanna. He came to this final table on low chip stack, battled his way up to where he had the chip lead in a heads-up situation, and ended up finishing second.
Pleasure playing with you, man.
That's it.
Joe Hashem from Australia. He is our champion.